House Republicans could have voted to extend the payroll tax cut extension for 160 million Americans last night, but instead, they had to deal with more important things. What were those important things? I mean, what did the Republicans actually get together and vote on in the House of Representatives? They voted to hire somebody to create a bust of Winston Churchill that would be placed in the Capitol Rotunda. Not out of respect for Churchill, but out of disrespect for President Obama. Now, this goes back to the Bush administration. When George W. Bush was in office, Tony Blair was his good buddy, and after 9/11, as a gesture of goodwill to the United States, Tony Blair loaned to George W. Bush, for his first term in office until 2004, loaned him a bust of Winston Churchill that had sat in the British Embassy here in Washington, D.C. In 2004, when Bush was reelected, Tony Blair said, well, you can keep it until the end of your term, your second term. And so it was very clear that, the first week of January, when George W. Bush left office, the bust was going to leave with it. In fact, the British Embassy announced to the press, quote, it was lent for the first term of office of President Bush. When the president was elected for his second and final term, the loan was extended until January 2009. So when the British took back their bust, Obama replaced it with a bust of Abraham Lincoln, one of his heroes. But Glenn Beck and a bunch of right-wing radio guys went nuts on this. They said that Obama had, first of all, sent back the Churchill bust. As I just pointed out, not the case. Not the case at all. The bust was gone before Obama even walked into the White House. But why did these right-wingers say that he had sent back the Churchill bust? Well, because they said Obama's step-great-grandfather was a Mau Mau warrior who'd been tortured by the British Empire when they controlled Kenya. This made juicy right-wing conspiracy theory for GOP TV, for Fox News, because it emphasized the fact that Obama's father was from Kenya and that he was black. This is like, it was like screaming in code. But, Obama didn't even know his great-grandfather. He didn't even know about this whole thing. The bust was gone before he got there. And now we're in this situation where yesterday in the House of Representatives, instead of voting for a tax cut for all Americans, all of the Republicans voted to create a bust of Winston Churchill to put in Congress. Why would they do that? Because they live in an alternative universe. They live in this alternative Fox universe. That's why they voted for the Churchill bust instead of voting for a tax cut for 160 million Americans. No wonder the Tea Party-dominated House of Representatives has led Congress to its lowest approval rating ever, just 11%. People get it. These people are nuts.